Welcome to the Elevate podcast. We're here to elevate founders up to the next level. I'm so excited to be joined by the wonderful Miss Marie Mack and Simon Severino, of course, every week. And I'm Sean Malone, co-host here for the CEO Cafe episode today. I'm so excited because we have Marie here. She's a stuness, times like 10, and we just love having her here. So Marie, we're just going to say, and Simon, what's up too? But Marie, how are you doing?
I am so good. Every time we get together, something new comes out, and we were just talking on like green screen behind the scenes, and I'm like, I don't really know what today's topics are going to come to, but every time I walk away with something awesome from you both. So thank you for having me.
I love that for sure. And my main man Simon, how's it going, man? Writing the book of Jay Abraham. What's new? Like how's life, dude? How you living? What's going on?
Yes, yeah, the collaboration with Jay is the new thing, and it opens new doors. Like I gave a speech in Japan in front of so many Japanese people. First time I don't understand what's going on in the chat. It looked great, but I had no idea what was going on. 90 minutes, 60 minutes interviewed by Jay, and then 30 minutes by Hiro, who is a big publisher in Japan, was exciting. And we're getting the first book blurbs in where people say if you should read the book, why you should read the book. That's also pretty exciting. Yeah, this is where I am.
Love that, man. That's awesome. I also see that you're doing an event with him at some time here in the future coming up soon. Yeah.
December 5, we do program launch and book launch, the Applied Leverage program.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we'll have to put that in the show notes. So anyone listening should show up to that. So, all right. Well, CEO Cafe, there's where there's no limits, there's no rules, there's no topics. It's just fun. We're just going to chat about some cool stuff. So I'll throw one out there. Marie, what's the coolest, biggest thing you've been working on business wise this past like 90 days moving into Q1 here?
Big thing for me is in 2025, I decided to diversify and create a couple different business streams. I think we've talked about this before, about multiple streams of income. So I did that in 2025. So as we're rounding down the end of 25, I'm closing down some of the old. So I've closed down some businesses. I've closed down some streams that I just found were not producing the way I wanted to. And it's kind of bittersweet, right? Like you create a baby and then you're just like, yeah, I'm not going to work on that anymore. But it also like brings a really fresh and exciting space for 2026 because we're moving into 26 with all of the passion and none of the I'm not quite sure if that's going to work kind of vibe. So that's what I've been doing. It's been
Love
fun.
that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I have like a million follow-up questions for you. But Simon, I'm gonna come over to you first. What's the big project you're working on right now, man?
It's the book launch and the Sprint Club. Sprint Club, you guys know it. It's 245 of us. I'm continuously thinking about how to make it more fun, more gamified, more helpful, how to answer even faster, how to be Jarvis to the Iron Man and Iron Women in there. And then and then there's the book, which been in Japan right now. We're receiving offers for publishers who want to publish either in Japan, like Hiro. He wants the Japanese rights, so that would be a licensing deal that we're talking about. And I'm talking also to one American publisher if they want a contract. So they would be paying us in advance before we even publish, would make us slower. So pros and cons, right? If we self-publish, we're much faster. We ship this thing next month because manuscript is 95% ready. If we go with a publisher, it takes much longer, but we can still deliver the program, and the program is what we are about. We want to implement those things into the businesses in the first place. The book is a help, a vehicle for getting those tools into the attention out there. But in the end, we want to apply those tools to businesses, right? Reduce their stress levels, increase their profit levels. That's what those 12 chapters, 12 tools are supposed to do. And a book doesn't do that. A program does that, right? A book can inspire you, but then we have to actually do it. And that the program will be 6 months, weekly coachings, and that's what I'm excited about. So even if the book comes out much later because we end up with a publisher, first of all, it's even earlier cash flow because those publishers, they all pay us in advance, and so we are more relaxed and we can just build and concentrate on the program. And the second thing is, a publisher always gives more authority to a book and to the authors because they scan it for relevance, right? They're picky by nature. And so they go, does the world need this? Is this high quality? And so I'm always happy when it's kind of a market research and a validation that something is needed right now if they pick it. So that's where we are with the book. Either self-publish quick or go with the publisher slower. But the program is really starting December 10, and we will show it to the world December 5.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that's awesome. Congrats. I like have so many questions about that because like timing's interesting. Like me myself, I'm actually working on. We just launched a new high ticket group program as well. That's a 10-week. We're calling it the Rainmaker program, where we create rainmakers. And so I'm really excited about it. And it's a money back guarantee one. I've never done one like that before, so I'm really excited about that. So we just rolled that one out, and of course got the book that's got published. I'm working on the low ticket funnel with Brian Delaney, good marketer. So yeah, we got a lot going on over here too. So I have so many other questions. I'm going to go back to Marie for a second here. And by the way, guys, you can ask questions to anybody as well. When you make a decision to shut something down, because that's what you said you did this year, how do you make the decision? And then how long do you test the thing before you say, okay, I'm done?
Yeah, good question. So for me, I do lean into the feels a little bit. I can tell whether I like something or not if I have put focus into it. If I'm like, man, what if I stay up until like 1 a.m. figuring something out?
The 1 a.m. test.
It's not every day, obviously, but if there's some kind of drive and fire inside, then it really does spark something amazing. And so when I decided to diversify, I decided to take a business that kind of became a hodgepodge over the last 10 years. I just said yes to a lot of different things. It served its purpose for what it was, but in 2025, I was like, what if I niche down a little bit, right? Like, what if I take some of the best parts of that business and I create a little bit of diversity? So there was some back education around like how have I done this before? Is this something I want to keep doing? And then what parts of it do I really, really love? And then trying out new things. So one of the things that I've done, which Sean, you can probably relate to this, is I am building out a SaaS business.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother realm of something I never thought that I would do or that I had the talent for. And so it is so exciting to learn something new when you've been doing things for like decades at a time. So that's one of the projects that I have, but closing down something that was no longer serving me, it makes me every day now get up and be like, what's the exciting thing that's going to happen? And I'm still serving the same audience. Like that doesn't change. My talent doesn't change. It's just the excitement of something new. So I decided to close it down just because the flame sort of like, meh, it went away.
So there wasn't a period of time. It was just like the passion burned out.
Yeah. And I really I wanted to make it work. And then in 24, I was just like, I found myself in the middle of the day. I don't play Candy Crush, but something similar. I was just like, I'm like, why am I zoning out on this? This is terrible. This is not me. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, there's something that's missing, and I know who I am at the core and I know what I can serve in the audience that's out there. So I was just like, okay, I got to do something different because this is not how I'm going to live my life. I'm an entrepreneur. I do things, I build, I create, I support. And so when I found myself just being like, lull, it's not a thing. It's not a thing for me.
I feel it.
Yeah.
Simon, when you decide, I think that's a great question. When you decide to terminate an activity, action, or stream or business model or something, what goes through your head? How do you make that decision? That's such a good question.
I was asked this on stage in Japan 2 nights ago. So their morning, my night. And I love this question. And there is a whole book written by Seth Godin about it. It's called The Dip. You start something, it's exciting, energy level high. At some point, you walk through the valley of despair, of the dip. And it's natural, it comes with each project. But how do you know if it's the right thing, just persevere, or, oh no, it's not working, it's not the right thing, let's discontinue. So this is the most important decision in entrepreneurship, I think. And that's why we are strategy sprints, right? Because first strategy, who am I here to serve? What's my superpower? What excites me? And then you go and sprint it, you ship fast, you build fast. Because if we do it the wrong way around, we are maybe delivering very quickly the wrong thing. And that's the worst we can do, and it happens. So the first question is, who am I here to serve? 5 levels deep. Also the anti-ideal client, 5 levels deep. And what's my superpower? Because that's the sweet spot. This is something that I can be excited about for a decade plus. Because that doesn't change month by month, right? My superpower and who I'm here to serve. And then if you then experience the dip, and this is why every Friday we measure the sprint dashboard, because there will be multiple tiny dips. I don't want to wait for the big dip. I want to have tiny dips during the month. So for example, website unique visitors went up last month, but then the conversion went down. So that's a little dip. It's a tiny dip, right? Because still there is more people on the website, but they are clicking less. And so that's a little dip. And we book a 90 minutes workshop, and then we try to find out what is going on. And we summon all the AIs to help us find out where are they going, what are they doing, how can I improve the button. And so it's a tiny dip. So we want weak signals very early. We want dips all the time, and we want to be early on them. That's the tactical answer. And then the more energetical answer is, don't give up. If you did the work of, so this is how we talk to ourselves, right? If we did the work of thinking about who this is for and do they really need it, then we will try to endure as many dips as possible. Because some things take 10 years before they go. And it feels like, oh my God, nothing is happening. But you don't know if you are 10 meters before the gold, right? You don't know. You're just mining. And then maybe it's just 10 meters. And so every Friday we look at those numbers. We get a ton of dips. Something is dipping all the time. Because when you look at 12 metrics, one of them is going down. That's our experience. And sometimes multiple. So you have to look at them, catch that dip early enough that it's not frightening to look at it, and it's maybe even exciting to attack it. Because, a degrading conversion rate can be improved. If we're lucky, we can do that in a 90-minute session. If not, maybe it takes us 7 sessions. And maybe we have to hire people to help us who are better than that, at that than we are. And so it might take then 3 months, 6 months. But we like dips, and we try to attack them early, and we go for endurance. We think in 15 years, we try to stay the course.
Has there ever been a product or a piece of the business that you shut down just because it wasn't working?
Let me think about it. Shutting
Because if
down.
not, I think that's just, I like the true answer is what you said. I think like it just trumps everything else, is like, don't do projects that you're going to burn out or lose passion around. I think that's the real, that's the meta answer for that. But I feel like a lot of people don't do that.
So big shutdowns have been saying no to things. Like the first big shutdown was 20 years ago, I was in planes all the time, in planes. And so I grounded myself. I said, we're not going to fly. From here on, we're not going to fly.
Why did you make the decision not to fly anymore?
I became a father. So Federico was born. And we knew it's not going to be the only kid. We will have 3, 4 kids. And so I'm a father now. My priorities changed. My definition of fun changed. And when that changed, and of course my energy, my attention, everything changed with it. And so I decided I'm going to ground myself. I will have less opportunities. I won't give a TED talk and all these things. And I will lose some revenue temporarily. And I didn't know, is it 6 months, 8 months, 2 months, 15 months? But it was the right thing to do for me because I didn't want to be a weekend dad. I wanted to be, a full-time first row dad.
Was there like a come to Jesus meeting you had with your lady, or like what was the thing that actually happened? Like, because I'm always interested, because like I remember like when I shut down our first software product, I was at a point where I was like, I had an epiphany moment where my parents-in-law, my mother and my father-in-law are like, dude, you look like a ghost. What the F's wrong with you? And I like that moment, I was like, oh my God, like I can't anymore. So like I drew a line in the sand right at that moment. Like, did you have a defining moment, Simon, or like what was the thing?
I remember that I was working Monday to Thursday across all possible countries. Then I come back on Friday, and then Saturday was this triathlon where I was 2.5 hours biking, swimming, running, and my wife was waiting with the baby for me to finish. And so I finished that, but during the whole run, I was thinking, this is not right. What kind of dad am I? I was away the whole week, and now I'm doing 2.5 hours of something around me. This is over. I am now in stage 3 of my life, which is not around me. This will be around the kids. And so I felt strongly that transition in that week, because the whole week was around, flying and then competing on the weekend, which used to be my life in my, pre-dad life. But that was changing. I had to change my priorities, and it that week felt totally wrong. And so on that Sunday, I decided that this is going to change.
Makes sense. Marie, what about you? Line in the sand moments, think about that, talk about that. Like, have you had them? Like, is that what's recently caused you to say, hey, I got to build a software company? Was there a line that you just crossed, or like what happened?
There was like line in the sand, but for me to close down an entire business was around the fact that I didn't recognize myself as like the go-getter person that I know that I am, and somehow had allowed the lull of maybe I'll just go the next 10 meters, like Simon was saying, maybe I'll just keep going. Maybe it's right over the hill. It's like right, the next thing is going to come around. I spent almost 2 years just waiting and hoping and thinking and like trying stuff out, but half-heartedly. And finally, like that was where that line in the sand was at the end of 24, where I had tried all the things that I felt like I could do. And what I ended up doing, it worked really well. And I'm sure other people have done the same things, as I went and got a mentor. Like, right, I can't be that person who can scale to the next best me without somebody who's guiding me to that I felt like was ahead of me. So I started a mentorship program at the end of 24. This week I went and I had my second session with her one-on-one, and it's just amazing. I started all kinds of new things because I could see somebody saw something in me that I had lost in myself. And so the line in the sand for me was just like, this is not who I am. I have teenagers at home. They watch me. They know what I'm doing as not only a mother, but as a business owner and as a leader. as a strong woman in the industry. Like they're in my world. And that does, like Simon, it does give me a lot of motivation. I also had team members who were growing businesses and watching me on what I was doing. And not that it's all like external, like I really did feel internally that I wasn't my highest self. And I think I had something similar to what Simon did. You just like internally look at yourself and be like, is this really what you want to be doing? Like, I just turned 40. Like I've got a lot of time to be doing really awesome things. And it kept coming around that moment when I turned, 40. I was like, this can't be it. This is not why I'm put here on this earth. And so there was a lot of line in sand, and then also a lot of reflection and internal just what's next. And then asking for that guidance, not only thinking about it, meditating about it, praying about it, and then also like seeking out other people who are escalating their lives and are working at a space that I felt like a caliber that I knew that I could be at. So, and then bringing those people around me to find that fire again and to create something new and to take a leap into creating like a SaaS company and the businesses that I did create this year, to find that flame again. So
I love that. That's congratulations on
thanks.
the birthday and finding
All the
it.
things.
And would you say that your gas tank's 100% refilled, ready to go, or are you kind of not quite all the way there?
I think that I took a leap out there knowing that the things, I'm not just going to stand by and wait on something to come to me, right? I'm going to go find it. I'm a fighter. I'm going to go make something happen. I would say that the fire in me is 100%. And then if I'm actually in the right spot or not, I don't know. I'm probably like 80%. I'm pretty sure I'm on the right direction. And again, just going back to mentors and finding people who are ahead and around and feeding into you, kind of like with Simon and Jay. Like that's an amazing mentor to have in your world, Simon. Like that's amazing to have that kind of person there. And the mentorships that we have, and I'm sure you guys are the same. So somebody else who's like, you're on the right track. Let's tweak this. Have you thought about that? And just outside perspectives is just really amazing.
I love that. That's
What about
so
you,
good.
Chris? I mean, I'm sorry, Chris. What is Sean?
Yeah, Chris and me have been
Chris and
partners for
you.
Chris and
Two
me have been
together.
partners for a really long time. So yeah,
Yes,
I'll
Sean,
take
tell
it.
us
I take it
about
as a
you.
compliment. Yeah, no, I mean, I was just sharing like I think like line in the sand stuff. I'm we've been working on FlowChat now for 5 years, and I there was a little bit of repositioning that I wanted to do because the way that it was perceived in the marketplace wasn't quite right. So like I feel like shifting the viewpoint of what it does, because obviously we help people communicate better. Like at the bottom, at the end of the day, that's what we do. But with the big tidal wave of AI coming, and then like this machine intelligence, and then I think right now there's this, as a thought leader and kind of in that space, one of the things I would say is um, AI right now to the general population is kind of like, oh, this thing is cool. We should be using it everywhere. Like, I'm excited to learn more and do it and go and faster. But then the people that are a little bit further down the path of AI right now, they're like, yo, AGI is coming and it's effing scary. And if you're not ready for it, it's going to destroy everything. And like now these big papers are being written by all these like experts in the field saying, 2027, like watch out, 2030 like could be the end of humanity if we're not careful. And so I'm like, oh my God, that's like 4 or 5 years from now. Like, what are we doing? Like, uh-oh. So like, how do I reposition FlowChat to ride the storm, right? No matter what the storm's going to be. And so that's the big structure that I've been thinking about for kind of like for our positioning. And so the way that I've designed it now is I think we've built the bridge between human authenticity and machine intelligence. Like that's what we built. And so that's if people want that, because most people crave the authenticity piece of conversation and being real and being genuine and actually being in the moment and being present and having a great conversation. Like that's what people crave. And I think people are going to always crave that. And if AI takes it all away, people will know it's fake. So that's why, so like for me, I think it's not really so much, I think I know I'm in the right place. I think I know I'm doing the right thing. Like, I've been doing this now for the better part of almost 3 decades, which is a long time. Or at the better part of 2 decades, almost 3 decades now, I should say. It's like 27 years, I think. And yeah, so like line in the sand for me, I think is a little bit smaller. It's not so much like cataclysmic shift of me. I mean, other like big projects now, it's like, how do I just accelerate the thing that's so good and that's helping so many people? So I don't know. I'm in that space right now. And so I'm really just like when Simon started talking about, and Simon, I'll come back to you and talk about it now. Cause I mean, like we just launched a new program. You were just launching a new program with Jay Abraham. You're going to have all these clients. Where are you going to get these clients from?
So the program starts December 10, and we're starting informing our own people right now. So our email lists are getting informed right now by Jay, informing his list. We are informing our list. We started, I think, yesterday, telling everybody, hey guys, there is this thing coming up. So December 5, there will be a celebration of the book and the program. And then December 10, we start doing it each week, three parts. So it's a 6 months program. First 2 months, we simplify their business. So really simplify, strip it down. Only what matters. Less activities. Whatever you're doing, cut the activities in half, cut them in half again. So I will literally do all the things that we do in one-on-one sprints with this cohort. First part, simplifying, strategic focus, the focus card, really aligning everybody, simplifying everything, diminishing the number of activities and stressors that they have so that they are calm again, and grounded and have breathing room. And when they look at their business, they say, oh my God, I love my business again. I love it. I have a few things. They make sense.
Is that kind of like and that's happening in the workshop, or is that going to be happening? Where's that going to be happening?
Yes. Those are the first 2 months of our weekly coaching. Yeah.
Okay.
So the program is called Applied Leverage. And the first 2 months, it will be simplifying their businesses and aligning their team. And then the second month is finding what works and scaling that. Because now that it is so simple and we're seeing each Friday what works, we will help them scale that. That's the next 2 months. And then the last 2 months are compounding. This is something new that we've been cooking. I don't think it's widely known how you can use compounding effects in your business, but that's exactly what we're going to do. So turning your expertise into assets, and those assets work even when you don't, and they never take vacation. So that's the part, the third part, last 2 months. So first 2 months, we simplify their business, then we find what works and scale it, and then we put that on residual, on passive.
And so I love the pathway is amazing. The transformation sounds incredible. So you're notifying your audience, Jay's notifying his audience. There's going to be a cataclysmic demonstration with this thing coming up in December. And then from there, is there sales team work that's being done, or like what's the conversion mechanism in the process there?
First loop is we with our own audience, and that has already many hundreds of registrants already for December 5. Then the second mechanism is strategic partners, people like you and other 40 partners that we have invited to inform their email lists. So think of 40 people. On average, they have like 10,000 people on their list. That's the second mechanism. And that alone will be enough. But then also Jay and I, we are scheduled to be on podcasts. So we were in Japan like last night. That is 4,000 people in itself. So, and those people will be interested about the book. The book, each chapter says, hey, do you want more? And points them to the website. Website brings them to the email list back to the program or to one-on-one work. So these are three mechanisms. And a fourth one will be being on podcasts. So both myself and Jay, we will be on book tour, on radios and podcasts, talking about whatever the hosts need right now, and always ending with the call to action. By the way, program, by the way, book.
I love it. I think that's awesome.
You know what I love about this the most is because it's relationship driven, right? Like it's relationships that you're creating, that you've developed to be able to have a business and a model that scales quickly. Like you've been doing partnerships for I don't know how long, Simon, because we've worked in that a lot. And I am obsessed with it. I think that it's one of the things that all three of us do often and well is create relationships. And then when it's time to do something really big, you raise your hand and say, I need support. I need help. Will you support this? And then you get 40 people who are like, hell yes, I'm in. Let me make this a success for you. Like it makes my heart happy to see so many businesses that are working together in a really peaceful way.
Yes,
So
thank you.
for
Yeah, it's all
sharing it.
organic. Exactly. Yeah, I think you're totally right. And it's all organic. So some people might listen and go, wait, you're not spending on ads? We are spending $0 on this whole thing. The whole program, the book, nothing did. Well, I spent $400 on book cover. That's it. And another $400 on editing. So we are not spending a single dime on marketing. And we never had, both Jay and I were very organic people. We try to build something that the world needs, and then we have relationships. He calls it social capital. We call it just relationships that over a decade that you're building, and where we support each other.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me happy, man. I love hearing the plan. Like, did you guys think through the plan before you started writing the book?
Before, no, I started writing, but pretty much in parallel. After like 2 months of writing, I said, okay, now I think I got this with the book. I think it has a skeleton, it has a proper form, a proper gestalt. I said, now let's go strategy. And since then we started, we call it promotion strategy, positioning of the book. And so after the first positioning session, I had to rewrite the whole book because we changed who the book is for. And then I had to go back and rewrite that thing. Then we had a first strategy which was totally unique and totally out of left field, typical Jay, typical Simon. We were breaking all the rules at once. And so that was super confusing to our own teams because they were like, all the checklists don't apply here anymore. You broke everything. And so my team was confused. His team was confused. Our partners were confused. Everybody was confused. So we did it again. I think that was month 3. And we changed the promotion strategy. And we changed it a third time a month ago. So it was a very iterative process. We started thinking about it early. We changed it 3 times because we had better ideas or because it was invalidated. Right? We thought it's genius. Nobody got it. We had to change it.
Interesting. Brings me to my next question for Marie. You're launching a SaaS product. Congratulations. I think that's a cool thing. Have you thought through the marketing campaign, the program? I know your brain is wired like that. So tell us some insight.
I have thought about a lot of it. And then the more that I build it out in the way that I've done before, the more I know that I don't know everything. So I've tapped into a couple different resources, kind of like what Simon is talking about. I found a couple books about SaaS and building companies and talked to some amazing people that I know that have built SaaS before. And really just looked at it as how can I do it as organically as possible, get my beta testers through, see if I can break it and break it and break it before pushing it out there into a bigger marketing space. I know that after learning all of these things, dev is not my thing at all. I'm pretty, I think, I think Sean, you and I've had this conversation before, like a different language
Yeah, they're
that
different. They're a different breed of people.
I just don't understand. And in the last 2 weeks, I'm like, I'm hearing what they're saying to me, and I'm just like, I know that you're speaking English, and and it just doesn't click. So there's more and more as we get into the new year and as we actually get into marketing, I'm sure I'll tap in on all more resources for what the marketing looks like and how to do that the best way. Right now, I'm focused on getting making it to my caliber, which I know is pretty high anyway. And if it if I like it enough to bring other people in, then I hope I can get enough beta testers to break it and move from there. And really it is iterating. It's like Simon says, like I have a plan right now, but as soon as I see the product again, I'm not sure if that's going to work, or this isn't working exactly the way I thought, and maybe we need to look at a different audience. I also was telling a lot of people about it, and I'm getting their feedback because I feel like if I can explain it correctly, and I mean, Simon touched on that as well, is like if somebody doesn't understand what I'm saying, then I've either created something that doesn't make sense or I'm not presenting it well. And I'm the primary salesperson for this right now. So all of those things are where I am right now, sort of this messy middle of speaking it into existence, and then diving into what the marketing looks like a little bit more. And if you have any suggestions, like I'm so I'm so open for it. So that might be another
We should definitely have a
Yeah,
sidebar about it because I feel like that would be a good conversation. The two
it
things
would
that I'll
be.
leave you with, like the hardest thing to get right in a software, because I've built multiple of them, is the interface between the person using it and the execution of the task that it does. Like if you can make that interface as simple as possible, you win, right? And it's when it gets more complicated. There's two kinds of softwares. There's one type of, the first type of software is the very simple kind that solves one problem, but it doesn't solve enough problem for people to keep with it for a long period of time. The second type of software is the Lamborghini software. That's the one that we built, where it's like, dude, I'm going to give you the keys to this amazing high performance machine, but you're not even going to know how to fill it with gas and turn it on. Right. So like that's the other type of software. So we've built both, and I say like one's not better than the other, pros and cons both ways. But I will say that the hardest thing to get right is the interface, like user, they call it UI UX, user interface, user experience. Like find a specialist that does that if you are not good at doing that, because that's a really, really key component. And that's the person that can speak geek to the tech people, but also can communicate back with you as the super marketing, super sales pro, right? Because that person is very valuable, and it's hard to find them, right?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, that's the one thing. The second thing I would say is look for a smaller influence, like a micro influencer that has your exact avatar. Become besties with that person, and then say, look, I want to use your audience to bring these people in and test this thing. So that way you're not doing the legwork to go out and get the beta users, rather leverage other people's audience for that. It will save you a lot of headaches. Those would be the two big things that I would suggest.
Those are two huge things. So thank you. I appreciate it. Thankfully, most of that is on my radar, but the more you hear it, the easier it is to just say, okay, this is where I'm going next. So I'm taking the stepping stones through the whole project and learning as I go and taking past knowledge and then tapping into resources. It's a really fun, it is like the passion project right now because we're self-funding, we're bootstrapping it. My husband and I was like, hey, babe, we're going to do a thing. And he was like, we're going to do what? And I'm like, we're going to build a new company. It's going to be fun. So it's fun to see. I
can only imagine Sean's face. He's probably like, Marie, seriously.
Yes. He's like, we're going to what? What's it going to do? And I'm like, trust me. So he's wonderful and amazing. And we've to go through that journey together. If you've ever built a company with your significant other, that's quite fun.
Multiple.
Yes. Yeah. And so it's different. It's a different level of marriage, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah, which is fun.
You did, Sean?
Well, cool.
You did? You did too?
Yeah, I've built 2 businesses with my wife. Yeah. So
what were those businesses? Were they also
the first one was the network marketing business that we created when we came online, because like, and that was the whole thing actually was driven by her, which is interesting because like my origin story goes back to when I was a sales guy driving 75,000 miles a year in a truck all year, like on the road. And my wife was running a dentist office management or a dentist office. So she was the manager of the dentist office. And so she was like in this brick jail all day from, like sun up, sun down. And then like I was gone all the time. And it's kind of the same thing Simon said. We needed a way to experience everything together. And that became our slogan, experience everything together. Right. And so then my wife saw a Facebook ad and she's like, hey, what if we could do all this online? You wouldn't have to travel. Maybe I could get out of my job. Like, hey, the internet seems like the right choice for us. This is back in like 2016. And so we go into this thing, we watch this video of this guy walking on the beach. He's making these promises that you can't make anymore on Facebook ads. He's like, hey, I just made all this money online and I'll show you how to do it. Just buy my system. So we're like, okay, cool. I ended up buying the system. We went down the rabbit hole, and that turns into like kind of the evolution of what we created. It was a network marketing company disguised as an affiliate marketing business. So it was build this lifestyle business. And then on the back end, if they don't have a product to use to market, then you hook them up with the network marketing product that we had, which was a $10,500 water system, right? For home use. It was a Nagic water system. I love the product, still use it. It's like a coffee machine size box that sits on your countertop, and it puts, it electrocutes the water and it cleans it and sanitizes and does all this stuff. And you drink it, and it really, like, the health benefits are amazing. Regardless, that was kind of what we did. And so we started running this business of lifestyle marketing. So my wife and I had to go out and create ad creative that displayed this lifestyle. And doing that type of a business with somebody is very difficult until you kind of like, it's what Marie says, like, we didn't know what we didn't know. We had to get a coach. So we got a coach. And our coach was like, hey, you guys are like a power couple. And then I was jokingly, I was like, no, we're the original power couple. And then everybody was like, that's it, you should be the original power couple. And so like our whole brand spiraled out of this. And then like our message became, if you want to break free of the 9-to-5 and experience everything together, like us, the original power couple, look at our fancy lifestyle, click my link, go look at my system, buy it, and whatever. And like that was like the business that we started to build, and it exploded for us. It was really powerful. Like, that's Simon, that's how it came together. That was the first one. And then Melissa like came with me into the next couple of ventures that I did, because we had freed her from her 9-to-5, and now became an online guy. So
that's cool.
That's the story.
I would never start a business with my wife ever, because we already have 18 projects together, like 3 kids.
Yeah.
The grocery project, the school project, the homework project. Every day has 19 projects already. Who's cooking? Who's doing what? We have 19 projects going on at all times. We didn't want to have another 25 on top of that. We even have now 2 different TVs, because for the first 10 years of our marriage, we were always discussing, let's watch an action movie. No, I hate action movies. Let's watch a romantic movie. And now we have just 2 TVs. Oh my God, that's so much better.
The compromises that happen in life.
Modern convenience and first world problems, Simon. Nice job, dude. That's awesome, bro. That's funny. I think that's going to take us to the end of the episode. Thank you so much for being here and listening to us. Remember, this is always a conversation. It's not a one-way street. Please smash that like button. Share this out to someone else that might need to learn a little bit more about the inside of who the 3 of us awesome people are. Thank you, Simon. Thank you, Marie. I'm Sean Malone. We will see you next time. In the meantime, Simon,